Happy holidays, everyone. On today's episode, we get a little festive in our little onesies, and we talk about some Christmas memories and what we're looking forward to this coming year. Talking about how we're closing out this 2020 and welcoming in 2021. Glad to have you guys part of it.
True test. Give me 2 seconds. Come on. I gotta make it. Yes.
Oh shit. Yes. Oh, okay. Showing us the goods. Very nice.
Well, we're one step closer to our nudity episode, so I figured I'd give you guys it.
Jon, oh my God, where's the gallery view?
Woo!
So good.
Rudolph.
Dude, that is classic Rudolph too. That looks like it's quality.
He's got his tree. What
I
happened?
did.
What'd you figure out?
Well, luckily, because we're doing it so early in the morning, the sun's on this side of the house. So it's actually like not that strong, which has worked out great.
It's pretty overcast today.
Yeah, that's also a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In case it gets cold, I also got
it's different on the East Coast. Oh my God, the mitten.
Jon, you just surprise the shit out of me sometimes, is what I'll say. You surprise me. Because you're like the suit and tie guy, and there's like Party Jon, who's just completely
break all the rules, all the norms.
All the rules are broken. Yeah.
Oh, there's a lens flare on there. Wow.
I love the fireplace, Colt.
Thank you. Well, I want you guys to know that even though we decided that this was onesie episode, right? And I had some things come up where I got very busy, right? And I was like, finding a onesie is unfortunately out of the picture. However, this morning there was a Target nearby that had one item left, and it was not in the men's department.
Shut the fuck up.
I didn't want to not wear a onesie.
Yes.
So,
oh my God. Hey,
Hold on.
Are comfortable in your masculinity beyond belief, but this is epic, by the way.
How
about this?
Yo, that should be your Christmas card. That right there.
Hilarious.
I just wanted y'all to know, like, I took it seriously.
He's committed.
Early.
We appreciate you.
Found this. It's surprisingly comfortable.
Grown man. That's what you are. Grown man.
I mean, I couldn't not. I knew Brandon was gonna have a full like Union Jack jumpsuit, like the whole night. I'm assuming the butt opens up, like, and I knew that you were going to come in the full Rudolph. And since we don't have our Rudolph onesies anymore, I was like, well, shit, I got to do something. I can't just show up.
Has Anne seen you in that?
Onesie-less.
She hasn't seen me wear it. She has not. This is a double XL. And apparently, so this midline right here is where apparently women's waists are apparently at their rib cages. We've decided.
Why is it so high?
I have no clue, but it is very like it's like above, like far above.
Yeah, way. It's like right under your pecs.
Huh.
Look at this.
So either way, that's what's up.
We're off to a great start, and cups, glasses raised. Welcome to episode 6.
I think 5.
Cheers.
Is this 5?
This is episode 5.
This is 5.
This is the Christmas Day special. That's what this is. I don't know what number.
Doesn't even have a number yet. Cheers.
Cheers.
Boop, boop. That's it, Bullet. Straight from the bottle. That's like become a classic move. It's like, he doesn't even need a glass anymore. Season 3, forget it.
To be fair, it is
a funnel
juice here, and I forgot that to have like a morning a Christmas tree. Oh shit! No, I have coffee right here. Surprise!
See, you were ready before you even knew it,
man. So good morning, everybody.
Good
Thank you guys
morning.
for being here today. Like, this is awesome. Jon, take it away.
Yes, with us getting in the holidays and getting closer to the new year, I wanted to see, how are you closing out your year and preparing for the next?
I'm so sorry. How are you closing out this year and preparing for the next?
Yeah.
Sex.
Oh, wow. Well,
The world's coming to an end. Lots of sex.
Understand.
I mean, I second that.
Understandable.
I second that. I'm in. I agree. Great episode, y'all. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. And
I can say that on a not serious note, but I don't even know if it's more serious than Brandon's answer. But we are closing out this year with, I think everything comes with a lot of reflection, but we are currently having to move. And it brought along with it a lot of, the place we were staying brought along with it its own certain circumstances. And just because it's personal, I don't want to get into it too deeply, but what I can get into, and because it also includes Ange, and I don't want to discuss like our stuff necessarily, more my journey. Me. And what I found was that this year was so full of lessons, and that so many of those lessons at the surface just fucking sucked. And that I sit in that for such a short amount of time now. I'm very thankful that my fuse used to be incredibly short. My ability to wallow was incredibly long. And in the last few years, but specifically in 2020, and I mean, this is just, I think the way good relationships work is that, you know, when one person's here, the other one like the scales always tend to balance themselves out. And this year has been a little bit harder for Angelina in certain ways, and has become easier for me. I don't have time to wallow because I have a family. I have a wife and a life and a business to build, and, you know, baby pups to take care of. And like, I've given up on that time. And so kind of going into next year is building on that and trying to figure out how to share that with my partner. You know what I mean? How to help us do that together. And we had a really big day yesterday, as both of you know, that really lasted for 2 days. And that brought with it some lessons that are propelling us into the new year as of last night. You know, I'm not waiting for January 1st. We were like, nah, done, son. So I know that's a very cryptic message, but also hopefully has some tangible things to grasp onto.
am I supposed to give a more serious answer now? I think I am. Okay.
I would raise it back up.
I would raise it back up.
I'd drag
I mean,
down.
listen. So for me, I've been Matthew Mcconaughey has been my thing I'm chasing after, in a sense, where his book Green Lights is so good. And if you haven't read this book, I don't read books anymore. I put them on Audible, and I got through that book in 2 days.
Nice.
I get through books in a matter of a week now. Are they going to do it? Don't you do it. They're going to do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Sorry. There's a squirrel and they're off.
There it is.
They're gone. And there's 2 of them. Thank you. Merry Christmas for the boys.
Not for
Not for the squirrels.
Not for the squirrels. They're going to get their cardio though.
Yes, they are. So I've been listening to this book, and it's been so good for me. But he talks about paying attention to where there's a green light in your life, where something's a go, where there's a yellow light, where there's a red light, and red lights don't necessarily mean bad. They just mean redirection sometimes.
Hey-o.
Right? Hey-o.
Sorry.
So I've had a lot of green lights as of late, lots of green lights. But there's two other components of my life that I've really been focusing on. One is my acting career, and then the other one is marriage and family and what that looks like. So I've been dating, and in the dating, I've had so much clarity on what I don't want to align myself with, in a particular sense of I have to acknowledge that I can see that this isn't something that I want to walk with this person on in this particular way. A friend of mine said it beautifully. He says, your love story at 60 starts now. So what do you want your love story to look like at 60 and 70? You start writing it right now. So if there's a situation that comes up and you don't even like the way it's starting, think about how it's going to play out when you're 60 and 70. That's going to be the beginning. That's going to be chapter 1, chapter 2 of that love story. So if you don't like the way it's starting, don't even get into that book. Close it. Mm-hmm. Right? So I've been praying about what is the next chapter for me. And chronologically, and I think Colt, you can really relate to this in a sense of, because you've shared this several times about like being a husband, but then like the financial part of career, like, well, I got to do this and I got to make decisions. It's interesting because we've been taught how you should have had the career, you should have had the things before you met Angelina. You should have been established. You should have made those choices. You should have made those decisions before you met Angelina. And then but your story is you met Angelina and then things were figured out because you had a person to call you out on your shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you are the man today because of your love story. So it's interesting for me because I'm challenged that logically, reason-wise, my order is acting career, all eggs in that basket, and then wife comes along. But my nudge and my gut and my everything we've talked about is saying it's not going to be the way you think it's going to work out, and just be okay with that. So the end of my year is surrendering to, holy shit, it's not going to be what I've been taught. It's not going to be the job and then the wife and then this and that and whatever the case may be. Life is good in that particular aspect of like, I know my purpose in my job and what I want to do in life and all this and that. But I was like, I want to really get that thing moving in a particular momentum. And it's only a safety thing. It's only a fear-based thing of, I got to be really secure and set so that I can take care of her and all these different things. But God and my heart and everything is saying, that's not how that love story is going to play out.
Jon, I'm so sorry. Do you mind if I tag into this real quick, just because I don't want to forget this thing? There's a couple of things.
Top rope. Off the top rope. Let's go.
I'm so happy that you're talking about this, because there's a misconception even in how I tend to describe it. There's two things that I want to touch on. One is the love story. Your love story is completely based on everything that happened, which is why Ange was dating somebody in the cast of West Side, where we met, and we were out multiple nights, with groups, and then the groups would dwindle down because we were falling for each other, and we're like you do, where you're like, no, I'm not going home. I will be up at 6 a.m. at this diner with just her. That's the goal. And if I have to deal with you until 5, fuck it, whatever. But there was one night, and we talk about it, I think in our love story, one of the episodes, where she was drunk and she tried to kiss me and I wouldn't. And I was like, hey, I can't believe I'm telling you that, no, don't kiss me. However, one day when we are married and have kids, I want to know that we did this right. And also when she would come in and complain about her boyfriend, I would always take his side, illogically, because he's a fucking idiot. But I mean, I like him in a lot of other ways, but with regards to that, he was just an idiot. And I would take his side because I was like, I will never be responsible for breaking you up. If we end up together, it is divine. Now that speaks to the other part, which is what you were just saying. Yes, we have these these things where we, feel so attached to, well, I have to take it. That's going to happen forever. I have done movies and TV and Broadway and toured the world, and never once did I think, got it all figured out now, and I'm married, nailed it. Like, I'm always worried about the future. You know what I mean? Like that's ever going to be a part of it. And the thing is, when I met Angelina, I was established to a degree within, like, it was my first Broadway show, but I had done tours. I had been offered jobs since a sophomore in college. But I was always looking for her. That was always my number one goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want that to be mistaken, whether I misrepresent it here or anywhere else. Yes, I put myself first, but that was in a way of finding the love of my life, the person I could live under a bridge with, was my goal. I was working, and for my personal stuff, I wanted to do that. But that was the thing that I wanted more than anything else. I would have given up having a career if it meant
to be with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily, true love doesn't ask you to do those things most times. I mean, not everybody's story is different, but
right.
Ours intertwined. But I just wanted to touch on those two things, because the things that you're saying are, I think, when you're on the right path, you get those green lights. Our year has been full of more green lights, especially in the last 2 months since we started the project I talked to y'all about. Like, the green lights just keep fucking rolling through.
Yeah.
But they're not always comfortable. And some of the red lights have been really necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the green lights, you're like, is this a green light? I feel like I should turn here. I feel like I'm supposed to go this way, right? And they're like, it's a green light. Go. Trust it. Go. All right, John, I'm so sorry.
No. I love the points that you added in, because I think relationship was also something big for me this year, but I want to do one more year of traveling. So it's like, let me just focus, let me get really as much travel in, which now is like a lot of it's got pushed to next year. And I realized that is like, I think a big lesson I had, especially finishing up the year, was letting go of control. It's kind of like what you both are talking about. Like, we can have this picture in our mind of what it's going to look like, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen like that. Even if we try to set all the little dots in a row for it to be that. So like surrender, letting go of control, letting go of what it has to look like, especially a year like this one that we've had. I think everyone has learned that lesson, that we all had an idea of what 2020 was going to look like, what it was like, what we were going to accomplish, and what we were going to just make happen. And everyone got like just a wide awake understanding that you can't plan everything. You have to kind of just be open and pay, like you guys are saying, pay attention to the green lights that tell you this is the direction you're supposed to go down. This is what you need to pay attention. And like, I'm so grateful for it. I think the last 2-3 weeks has been very interesting, because it's like, I think all of us are just celebrating Christmas in a different way, or the holidays in a different way than we have. A lot of it's not by choice. It's just out of circumstance of what this year is. So that's been interesting, accepting that, and just accepting where this year went, because I had a different idea of where this year was. And now to sit where I'm sitting now was not like something that was not part of the plan, but I'm so happy that it's here. I'm so happy to be in this place, to have a let go, because I started letting go of control a while ago, but I didn't really fully grasp it until recently, of letting what the holidays be. And it's interesting, because the reason I brought this question up is Brandon Corey posted up something of like, let go of all the stuff that doesn't serve you. Don't carry it into 2021, because this year we learned so many lessons, but there's also parts that were like, doesn't serve us anymore. There's things, whether it be text messages, photos, conversations, emails, whatever it is, that maybe were a good lesson, but we don't necessarily need to carry that with us anymore. And so it's been on my mind of like, what can we let go to go into 2020 a little easier? And like, that's just been something that's helped me kind of just go through even just this holiday season, not seeing family this year, and not necessarily doing all the holiday traditions I've done in the past. It's really opened my eyes to just like be able to create new experiences and new traditions with friends, and celebrate like an LA Christmas. So it's been an interesting one.
I have to thank Jon here, because one of my ever ever-present thoughts is I don't know how much time I have left with my dog Bear. He's 12 going on 13. He's a larger dog. And my vow to him when I adopted him over 3 years ago was I would give him the rest of his days would be the best of his days. So I wanted to create experiences, whether he was actually paying attention or not. I want to create those moments and have those moments with him and just throw him in the car, throw him in the truck and go for a ride. So I saw that you guys went for Beth's birthday to the Wonderland place.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was just gonna say, I saw that video of you guys.
I haven't felt that kind of Christmas magic in years because of the year we've had.
Mm-hmm.
I was a kid again driving, and I didn't have a person to like talk to, but with my dogs, Austin's head out the window. It's like I could hear him saying, "Dad, but then look at this and then look at that." I could feel it. I'm emotional talking about it because Bear was like, he wouldn't get up to raise his head fully, but he knew something was going on. So he would just like lift his head and kind of put his nose in the air. And whenever he was just too tired to look up, he just looked blissful sitting next to me. And so that is going to go down as one of my favorite Christmas memories of my life, because I said to John Ingle when I got there, this may be his last Christmas with me. And if that is true, I'm so happy we got to share this moment together. So thank you for giving me that gift this year, because it moved me. It was like I felt the magic. I felt that spirit we talked about. Like I believed in Santa Claus. We got to the end, and Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus are sitting there, and I was just like, there he is. He's real. Like that's how it felt for me. So thank you for that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm glad. That's like a perfect example of just like finding new ways to create tradition and create celebration for ourselves with however this year looked. We're still able to make something out of it.
Yeah.
It's funny that you bring that you posted that the same night or the night after. It all runs together since I'm never on social media. We every year take the girls to see Christmas lights. Last year we were in Ocala, Florida, and I say take the girls because it's the only time that they're sisters, they will bicker and argue if one of them's on the other one for too long or leans, and one of them's 8 pounds and the other one's 35, 40 pounds. So that's the only time they will sit on the same window and just right next to each other, like lean on each other, and they stare out the window the whole time at all the lights. And every year we do this. We've been doing it since we lived in Vegas 7 years ago. And that's one of the biggest things. I'm so happy. I saw you doing that, and I was like, I am pretty sure that you hadn't done that before, because the way that you filmed it, it was it wasn't like a, hey, this is what we do every year. We come to something and blah, blah, blah. It was like, you were just taking it in. There was no commenting. There was just, this is them. Look at them looking at things. And that's, I have so many videos. I was saying, like, last year we drove, I forget where we were, somewhere near Ocala, apparently. And we were driving, there were like no street lights for like an hour. And then it was like a dirt road. And then we got to this place and it was amazing. And the lights were so good. And this year we were just driving through the Northeast. So we went to the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, which is very long and super intense and awesome. And the girls loved it. And Las Vegas Motor Speedway, it's a lot of, if you need lights, Christmas lights to drive through, find a motor speedway. They love lights. But the girls love that. And you're finding those moments. Missy turned 14 this year. I feel you.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's, fucking, every time we're in an elevator, Maya's 10 and a half. She's almost 11. February 13th, she'll be 11. And they get, talked about like they're puppies all the time because they're just monsters. And they got that energy. Like
they got it.
Like For Bear to have that energy as a big dog at that age is amazing. Like,
to chase a squirrel still, it's
like,
a miracle.
Huge.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful, dude. I'm so happy for you that you did that. This is really, really cool.
What is a Christmas memory that you guys look back on? Or even it's a new one. Like Brandon was saying, this one's going to be one that he's going to look back for a while. But is there another memory that comes up for you guys?
I mean, we have a ton, but I just talked. So
no. You were already there. I would love for you to take it, please.
We have a few that really stick out to me. Just because we're very fortunate as a family. We've had 11. This is our 10th Christmas together, 10th or 11th, 10. And I mean, from the very first one where my mom literally came up to her house to, our first one alone, to us being international, to us being just in Disney. We were in Disney for one of them. Like, honestly, my favorite memory is the one where we were just alone. It was just us, and we did some FaceTime with everybody, but it was just the four of us. And that's always my favorite time. Selfishly, I'm so excited for this happening. I'm so excited to be where we are, visiting who we are right now. But I can guarantee you that tomorrow night, when we are driving, because we're up in the Northeast, we have to drive to the Southeast, and we have 36 hours to do it. Tomorrow night, we will be by ourselves in a hotel doing Christmas. And I guarantee you, no matter what happens, that will be my favorite Christmas memory. On the 26th. I can feel it in my bones. We have been through too many of them. It's when we're alone in that moment. It's something about going to sleep on Christmas night. It's not just the waking up. It's something about the kind of finality. It's awesome. No. So
there's so much magic. I mean, listen, there's a reason part of love is what it is. When I watch your live chats, when I watch the videos back, when she hops on at the end of our calls, there's something about what you share with Ange. And even though the Refinery is about, we're focusing on men refining themselves personally and doing the work and mental health and all that stuff. But love is a major part of refining yourself, loving yourself, but then loving yourself in a way because you want to attract what you said, right? That person that at 6 a.m., you're the person that's the person I want to be talking to at 6 a.m. in that diner. And then wake up a couple hours later and talk some more. And then go for a walk and then say nothing for the afternoon. And then later that night, have pasta and some drinks, maybe have a little fun and do it again the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. So when you share that, and this isn't my memory yet, but I'm just so grateful that people are getting to watch and witness, like, this is what real brotherhood looks like to me, is when our journeys are helping the other person on their journey. Like Jon shares stuff all the time that hits home for me, hits so close to home, even how you prompt your questions, what you think about in your private time, your personality, how people perceive you, that inspires me to be a particular way in the world. And Colt, for Jon and I, you're our thing we're chasing after, right? And you're prepping us and giving us things that when we get into a situation with our wives, we can think back. Episode 2, at 14 and 35 seconds, Colt said, do this in an argument. I'm going to win this argument now. Because Colt told me what to look for. And I need to make a niggeroni right now. Yes, that's what I'll do. So thank you for being that for us. You're not intentionally trying, but because you're sharing your stories, there's nothing, we can't help but take it in, soak it in, and say, aha, that's what I want to pull away from. And you're living out the very thing you said you wanted. You were looking for your partner, you were looking for the person you could share life with. And that's something, going back to Matthew McConaughey, he said, I always wanted to be a father. Before he was ever an actor, he said, I always wanted to be a father, because his dad didn't really take to him that well. His dad put him off on his mom and said, that's your son, Kay. That's your son. And so he didn't want to do that. So he intentionally was like, when I become a dad, I'm going to love my kids, X, Y, and Z. And then he met his wife, and he loves her to death. But he really, really wanted to be a father. And no matter what job he did, no matter what he booked, no matter where he went in the world, his goal was to still be a father. And you had your goal of finding your person to do life with. I'm off topic as shit, but there's something here for anyone listening. Like, you can do all the things you want in the world, but it's okay to have something you're striving for. It's what gets you up in the morning. It's what's going to push you. It's what's going to drive you. It's what's going to encourage you. It's going to make you do the work. It's going to make you reflect. It's going to make you look at your shit. It's going to make you look at everything we talk about on here, and everything Part of Love teaches us, and everything Jon is bringing with creating Refinery. It's all helping you get closer to the very thing you want in life. But that's not the end of the journey. Once you get it, that's truly the beginning of it. That's the beginning of it. All of this is prologue. All of this is the intro. So thank you for that. My favorite Christmas memory, my mom's been really, really good with Christmases. Even when we didn't have a lot, she has done her best to provide Christmases. And I'll never forget this one particular one. The year before, it's got to be like 94, 95. We were in an apartment in Virginia Beach, or Norfolk, Virginia. She's newly divorced, and we're in an apartment. And there were 5 of us, because my mom has 6 kids. There were 5 of us in this house. And I remember Christmas morning, we had a small tree, and it was on a coffee table. There was a big gift, and there were 4 small gifts. And we wake up Christmas Day, and we go open the gifts. Each one of us, all the boys, got, I think, a watch and a toothbrush. And my sister got like a dish set, because she was the only girl. And I remember the pain of like, well, this isn't what Christmas is supposed to be. The Christmas before this was chock full of gifts. When you were married to my stepdad, there were overload of gifts, toys I didn't even play with and touch, to go to now a toothbrush and a watch. So I held on to that memory in particular. And then the following year, I don't know what happened, because I was a kid. I'll never forget, I saw them bring the gifts in, and we had a back open room. And in that room was gifts for days. And I had written out a list to Santa about everything that I wanted that year. And that Christmas morning, I opened up every gift, and everything I had on that list was underneath that tree. I slept underneath that tree in my 101 Dalmatian sleeping bag every night for at least 2 months, until the tree was gone. I slept under it, because there was something that I knew, like, this is what Christmas is supposed to feel like for me. This kind of magic. And as a kid, that's what you want to feel. And I watched Toy Story because Toy Story just came out on VHS. I watched it every night. And I remember feeling that feeling. I want my kids to have that feeling one day. Not because Dad bought them a bunch of gifts, but I want my kids to know that the magic is real, that it's not just about Christmas time getting gifts, but that magic that everyone talks about, we see in movies and we hear about, can exist. And I can give it to them through my love and through my caring. So anyway, that's my Christmas memory. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, it was interesting growing up, because my mom was also divorced young. And so we used to grow up with it just being a smaller family. And we did presents a lot of time when we were growing up, but I do remember at a certain point, like things kind of got tough. It was a lot less gifts. And I was a little annoyed that year because I thought that's what Christmas is about. We're supposed to be getting gifts. And I've mentioned in the past that, like, I think in the other episodes, my mom was a student registrator. So a lot of holidays, well, throughout the year, she saw families come into Fairfax County public schools. And she saw the ones that came fortunate and the ones who didn't come with so much. And so there were a couple holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, where my mom would invite a family. And she's like, oh, this family's gonna come. They don't have anything. So we're gonna actually get all the gifts are gonna be for them. And that's where it shifted for me of, oh, I thought Christmas was about me getting gifts. When in reality, it's giving gifts to others. It's seeing the light that it does. And I remember specifically with one family, it was 2 sons, mom, dad, just moved to the country, didn't have like anything, all staying in like a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. And we told them just come over for dinner. But we ended up buying them all these gifts. And I just remember the mom hugging my mom, crying, being like, we felt so sad because we weren't gonna be able to give anything to our kids this year because we put all our money to bringing them to America. And like thinking, my mom came here, my dad both immigrated to America, and to see my parents and then see other parents who've put all their effort to bring their kids to another country to do something, to provide something better for their kids, because whatever country they were coming from wasn't going to be that. And to give these kids gifts and just see them light up, it was just like, it opened my eyes at just being, wow, it's really about like others. It's focused, like this holiday is really about showing the love that we have for others. And it's always been interesting, and especially this year, it's been tough not being with family, being with my mom, because like that was my biggest gift, was just spending time with my mom. And like last year was a great holidays because she pulled out old photos of old Christmases I didn't even really remember because we were so young. And so it was like I kind of go through memory lane and seeing these memories and being able to, my mom, like, I still got to send you guys the photo, but like the big nativity and the big Christmas tree, my mom made a point to do all the Christmas decorations through the house and the stockings. Like she did whatever she could. And my mom was like super resourceful. She doesn't spend very much money. She's able to find through little thrift shops or like little apps and stuff. But she always wanted to provide Christmas cheer, and she let us have any friends we wanted over, all the way up to Christmas Eve. We could have sometimes 20 friends over. She didn't care. She loved it. She loved showing like anyone that's the Christmas spirit. And even if it was a small little thing, my mom used to make like little bags of cookies to give. Instead of buying gifts, she knew I was gonna have friends over. She'd make cookies and she'd put in little bags and give it to them as they were leaving. And it's like all these little things she would just, it created family and created this just beautiful memory. But last year, I think is like the big one, because it was like a run through memory lane, and being able to see it with close family and some other friends like family friends we hadn't seen in a while. It just reminded me of that Christmas spirit, the Christmas, like the giving of love to others, and the spirit of just being with family. And like and I haven't done the LA Christmas in many years, so I've been excited about doing this one because I feel like this is my LA family I get to celebrate. This is like our chosen families that we get.
Yes.
So I'm excited for however it looks.
You touched on, both of you kind of touched on a couple of different things that I just wanted to go back to. Yeah, spending Christmases away. I think I've been doing that for so long that I lose track of that aspect, that LA Christmas that you're talking about. It brings something new, right? It brings, like you said, your chosen family. It brings you to a different place of graciousness, of grace, of gratefulness, whatever the proper grammatical term is. And I think that that's something that I appreciate so much about this year in general, is just that this Christmas is different. It is. And it's different because it's out of our hands. And how it all goes down has to be completely different, or at least it is for most of us. But kind of circling back to what I was talking about earlier, with that, it brings the immediate kind of thing you just said, that there's that pain there's a little bit of pain, but then there's, okay, well, what do I learn from this? How do I take this and grow it? And how do I turn this into something else? And then Brandon, I wanted to touch on two things. One, when you guys see this, the way that everything's lined up, unless it reverses, in gallery view, Jon, you're on the bottom here, and your tree is right under Brandon's tree, and it looks like one giant tree. It's feeding up I was like, man, I don't have a tree. And then I was like, nope, they bought a giant tree that's two different colors and hilarious. Like it's kind of incredible. Fireplace,
yeah,
Rudolph tree. I brought my own Christmas tree. Let's be honest. The thing that I wanted to touch on though was two things. If I was to go back and not revise, but addendum, add, amend my statement, I think my favorite memory was the first time that Ange and I had, I think it was our first year. It's our first or second year together. She'll know. I'll ask her in a moment. But we were at her parents' house and we did gifts with everybody. And my mom was there and we did gifts as a group, as a unit. And they were like, oh, well, where's what you guys got for each other? And we were like, oh no, we're going to do that privately. We're going to go upstairs and do that. And it was a choice that we had made to just, no, we want to do this. This is just something that I don't want to share with everybody. I just want to share this with you. We go upstairs, and Brandon, you'll understand in a moment, both of you will understand in a moment why this was clocked when you told your story. We got upstairs and I handed her her box, and she opens it up and she starts laughing. And I was like, not the reaction I expected. Because the box said Burberry. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I get it. It's not Gucci. And she opened the box and it was a watch. And I am obviously such a huge fan of time and discussing time. I know I tend to do it quite a bit. And I'll touch on it in just a second with regards, Brandon, to yours. But she's laughing. She can't stop laughing. She hands me my gift. I open it, and it is a Burberry box.
Stop it.
And I open the lid, and it's a watch.
Wow.
And that, she still has hers. Mine was in the bag that got stolen. But like those watches, and they were so representative of us. Like they were such a piece that you could like look at and be like, that is very Angelina. It was just all gold. The whole fucking thing was gold. And mine was like tortoise shell with a little bit of gold. But it was this very special thing before I realized how important time was to me. Simultaneously, it makes me think of the wedding gift that I gave to both of my best friends that I was the best man in their wedding for. We were all three best men in each other's weddings. There were two for each of us. And I gave them each a watch because I think that's something that is very traditionally associated with a gentleman and with taking that next step towards being a man, because you are now not on a time clock. I don't know if I'll have time to refine this thought, but there's just an element of being aware of that time.
Of time. Yeah. It's what my brother gave me for his wedding. A watch. He gave me a watch.
Right? It just makes you aware that each one of those seconds that ticks by could be spent right, be wasted, right? And when you have those very impactful moments in your life, whether it's your brother's wedding, whether it's your own wedding or your best friend's wedding, or you know, having a child, having a huge, I don't know, job promotion, any major event in your life, or just 2020 happened, buy a watch, give somebody that gift, right? Remember and give yourself a tangible, not this kind of watch. This doesn't tell you. This is a fitness tracker with a cell phone, right? This doesn't have something that ticks by and reminds you every moment. Take this moment in. This moment is gone as soon as that clicks, and there's a new one, right? And that makes me so happy that you got a toothbrush and a watch. Like that watch is what sticks out. She was like, look, these are the bare necessities. I can't get you a lot right now. I can get you what's important though. Time, remember this, and also brush your teeth, because obviously, look at those teeth. Obviously. Look at those fucking teeth. Look at that smile.
Thanks, Mom, for the toothbrush 20 years ago.
Wait, did you get a new one? What do you do? You guys. Ridiculousness.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's like mentioning of time. I remember this must have been 3 years ago. I was having such a hard time figuring out gifts for my family. And I think I was battling, I think we talked about this in the last episode, like I was battling the whole idea of like consumerism and materialism, and I didn't feel like I wanted to buy people things. And so I kept going back and forth because I'm like, I have to get them something. And I realized it's like, you know what? I'm gonna do experiences. Like I'm gonna share an experience with each person I'm giving a gift.
Oh, wow.
My favorite one was my grandmother and my cousin, because my cousin moved to Wisconsin, hadn't seen her, she'd been in college and everything. And I only see my grandmother when I come out. And so that year I kept going, and I was like, what do I want to get my grandmother? What do I want to get my grandmother? And I finally was just like, I'm gonna get you a plane ticket to come to LA. And I'm gonna get you a ticket to come hang out, just you. I mean, I worked out with my cousin too. Usually when my grandmother comes, or if I see my grandmother, it's either with my mom or my aunts. And I was like, this time it's just gonna be us. And so she came, and it was such a beautiful week that when she came, and I realized it's like, that's kind of the gift I want to give people. It's like, it's kind of going with time. It's just like, we don't know how much time we have. We don't know how much time we have ourselves, or how much time we have with others. And so like, why not figure a way to make more, whatever time we have like available, make it more meaningful. And so I always think in the back of my mind, like, what I would rather just provide that experience, provide something where we could share a moment together. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because I forgot about that one. That was probably one of my favorite gifts I've given to someone, was being able to be like, hey, I'm gonna fly you out and we're gonna hang out.
I mean, that's the same. We talked, I fucking love that, dude. That just made me smile so much, because I'm just imagining that moment when she got out there and you were like, oh, wait, I'm gonna get to know you. Just you. You're gonna get to know me. Oh. And it's just so reciprocal. And we just talked about this in our Tuesday live, that like about Christmas, we were talking about all of our Christmas photos that we've taken together. And I've got those, the Santa ones to send to you, Brandon, that you requested. But there's that feeling, the experience is what matters, right? The gift itself, unless it carries with it some experience, something, right? Whether something in the past that you clocked, or something that will help them in the future, right? There's so much. I think you guys are giving me this idea of something that is very, I can't talk about it because she's in the room. Today's video, the Part of Love episode that comes out on Thursday, Christmas Eve, 2020, has to do with all of this stuff that we're talking about, and just really taking into consideration that I think if somebody ever asks me, you know, well, what should I get this person? I'm gonna go think about experiences, think about experience, think about time, and think about listening. Those three things. If you can go
Hallelujah.
there,
Yes, God. You have set me off. I've been hiding. I've been sick. I've been waiting for the Lord to let me go, because I will shout, holler, and praise. What, Colt? Pastor Prattes, good sir, do you mind reminding the congregation once again, what are the three things that they should hold on to when giving the gift? Yes, Lord. Yes, God. Yes.
I mean, God, I fucking love you. experience.
Yes.
Experiences, time, and listening.
Mm-hmm.
If you go through your past with anybody that you love, right? And you think about, if you listen to those things that they're saying while you're together, you can create an experience, whether it's through a gift or whether it's through literally what you said. Brandon, the gift that I sent you was very, very specific. And I don't want to get into what that is. I want to say that was an experience-based gift that has to do with time. I don't control anything about it. It was not expensive. It was not about any of that. It was about something, listening, an experience that you're going to have and that we're going to get to share in, all of us, and time, right? That's what is necessary for all of us. And I didn't always give good gifts. I gave, oh God, fucking terrible gifts early on, unless it was about experience. But you guys have helped get, oh man, I didn't mean to bring that. I'm sorry. I love you though.
It's all good, man. You guys keep fucking talking, please. Shit.
You can see this cool sty I've got on my eye. It's like a giant pimple on my eyeball. Does that help? Does that bring you back? That's what I didn't get punched in the eye unless it's by God, I guess. Like just, there's a blocked pore or something. But luckily it's just in time for Christmas photos and this episode, which is why I'm trying to distract with a dress. Does that help?
I didn't even notice until you said it.
Yeah.
So the dress did work.
Seriously, waistline so high.
I wanted to also mention, I think one thing that you talked upon that a friend actually helped this past week, because I was trying to find a gift, well, this was probably 2 weeks ago, writing, and I think I might have mentioned this in the last episode, but writing 5 things about the person you're trying to get a gift. 5 things that describe them will help anyone find a gift for them, because it helps get creative. A lot of people try to do it in their head, and my friend was saying, like, no, write 5 things down, and the ideas will come from that. Like, write what they mean to you, or who they are, or how would you describe them? How would you tell someone about that person? How would you describe that person? And in that description are all the gems for what to get them.
And if you can't do 5 things, maybe you shouldn't be getting them a gift. I mean, that's
very solid point right there.
I calls them like a season, and I sees them out of one eye.
I seized them out of one eye. Ange, what up?
I was trying to mute it. She's wrapping gifts.
Hi, beautiful boys. How are you? Oh, you're so cute. Wait, we got a Rudolph. That's a good one.
It is a good one.
Oh, Brandon, you win with the tree. Yeah, that's amazing.
No,
wait,
this whole thing.
Oh, wait, yeah, no, it looks like one.
Yeah.
I only heard
I love
half
that
of
she
it
just
because
gave
I
it
was
to
going in
Brandon.
and
She
out.
was like, Brandon, you're a tree, even though it's.
Oh, it is 2 trees. It does really look like one. Wait, can you stand up, Brandon? Is that a onesie? I should ask if you have pants on. If it's not, then.
Oh, it is.
You're a cute.
Hey-oh.
Oh, that's.
I can twerk. I can twerk. I learned this. Was 2020 taught me how to twerk, guys. TikTok.
Professional.
I'm still
TikTok,
working on
TikTok. Yeah, still working on it.
And then show the mittens. Well, working. It's a relative term.
It's
twerking. Show the mittens. Show the mittens. This is my favorite part of it. First off, this is like true Rudolph. Like this
It's a real Rudolph. Yeah,
Old
it's
school
no
Rudolph,
joke.
but
This
we-
thing's
Look at those.
warm too. There's times I've worn this out just because it was cold. And it's funny, so Brandon, the Christmas lights that you went to the other night, so my roommate, we did it for for Beth's birthday, and we all got in onesies. And my favorite part is that we had to stop to get gas. And so Georgie steps out of the car, because we were in her car, so she steps out and she's in a Santa onesie. She's pumping, and I was like laughing, because I had to get out and went to go tell her something, and then Rudolph walks out. And so in this gas station, there's a girl in the Santa outfit, and then a Rudolph walks out.
I mean, nothing like a good onesie. Like
There's
it
really
just makes
not.
everyone smile.
Oh yeah, this is like my favorite thing.
Or now the Christmas dress.
Christmas
Right?
dress on sale now. And
On sale now.
Targets.
I think Ange is a good way to wrap this episode up. Just hang out with us. You can wrap it up with this. What's one gift that people should give this Christmas? All those kisses.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
She's obsessed.
She's gonna be gone for a minute.
Daddy's girl. I mean, I hate to sound cliche and steal from y'all because you've been talking about this a lot, but I really think it is time, like quality time, and maybe within that, really taking the time to say the things you want to say to them. Truly, like we learned this year, like you can't hold back. You never know. We only know we have today, right? Like
yes, God, yes, Jesus.
Tomorrow. So say the things you want to say. Sometimes it's ugly, sometimes it's not comfortable, but sometimes it's beautiful. And from those like really ugly moments comes beauty. So say all the things you want to say. Like we're only here in this body once. Like I could be a freaking tree next to you next time. And I'd be like, hello, I miss you. Sorry, this is how we talk at home. I've lost it. This Christmas has stolen me. But yeah, taking time together. We only know that we have like right now.
That's amazing.
Well, Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Yes. This is our first official Refinery Christmas. Refinemus. No, that's not going to work. It's not going to fly.
Refinement. Well, you know what? Well, it's
Christmasry? No?
You guys wrap together for the finale. I love you both so much. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone in your families. And in the new
You
year.
too.
Love you guys.
Okay. I wanted to say one more thing. Just because Brandon always does such a great job of reminding us to be so thankful for each other. It just makes me really smile because you touched on the things that we do, but I think both of us could very easily wax poetic about the second time I've said that in 2 days, about the things that you do and the things that you bring to us. And one of those that you brought real strong in 2020 is your self-love, your self-awareness. There is something so pivotal when you make that shift, right? When you suddenly go, hey, I'm doing this for me. And Jon, you made that choice a few years ago, I feel like. And Brandon, I feel like this year was the year you did that. You suddenly went, I'm not really, like, I'm happy, but I'm not really.
Sure, I understand.
Well, you're not supposed to, Sierra. You seemed like you were like, I'm happy, I'm doing things, I look good on paper, but am I happy with this?
Am I happy? Is Brandon really happy?
And then you did what may have seemed like a 180 to so many people. It's not in any capacity. It was just you going, no, I really do want to do this, and go fuck yourselves. I'm going to do it. And I'm so thankful for that because it's funny. We talked about, giving belief and permission in a sense, but I get so much permission, and I don't want to speak for Jon, but I'm assuming that I kind of can, that you doing the things that you do on those rare occasions when I doth sign into the gram of Insta, I always know that I will see a picture of you with a horse. I will see you shoeing a horse. I will see you watching a child watch a horse for the first time. Like there's so much that's attached to that truth for you that then I go, well, shit, he's really fucking full tilt. He's full tilt boogie right now. Like, why not? Why not be that? And that thing is what's going to bring you to so many other, like, to your true love, right? It's going to be your acceptance of yourself in that way.
The second fucking time, Colt. God damn it.
I'm sorry. but it's Christmas. This is what it is. It's not my fault. It's the dress of truth. The dress of tree truth. The tree truth. That's it. And then when you laugh and put your head down, it's just a laughing Rudolph. Like, I think that should be the intro. I hope that it is, because you're gonna need to make it and just send it to me.
Yeah.
It needs to be you as Rudolph, and then fucking popping up being like, Christmas Refinery, hey. But yeah, that's that thing. If I could challenge anybody watching this to, we talk about this on Part of Love all the time. I don't think we talk about it as much on here, just because we're circling certain bits of this, and we're always kind of adjacent to this. But that is the only path, in my opinion. The literal only path to true love is self-love. It's just, bar none, that is it. Because otherwise what you're doing is performance art. You're performing for somebody. You're saying I love you because that's what I say, and I like this, but I don't even like myself. How do you, if you don't know what that is, how can you truly love that person? How can you be the best version of yourself? How can you do all those things? You can't. But you're doing that. The shit that's going to come your way in the future is, I'm so stoked. I am so excited.
God damn you.
And John, the same thing. That. We've talked about this. Like, I am so excited. Yes, we're doing these here, and this is going to grow. And this in and of itself, because we are finding ourselves through this, is going to bring more truth and more love. But just, if we take that time to stop going, I'm gonna find my person, and that's how I'm gonna do it, and then they're gonna fix me, or I'm gonna find this creative outlet and that's gonna fix me, or I'm gonna do. It's find yourself, and then that other thing comes along because of that, because you're full of that joy that's just very naturally you. Suddenly you're good and easy, and it's not so fucking hard all the time. So if you're going into 2021, if you're making the journey into the next, I'm bad at math, 10 days, something like that. Like, let's do that. That's how I'm going into 2021. I'm going in as me, and hopefully everything else comes along, because that's just the only way to do it. And I get that from you, Brandon, and you don't even know it yet, but it's fucking exciting, man. Your journey is inspiring for a lot of other people. And I know other people's journeys have inspired you. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good Christmas gift having you guys.
I actually sent a post to Brandon yesterday. I was looking at old Instagram photos and whatnot, and I posted something that Brandon posted 5 years ago before I even started following him. It was on someone else's page, and I reshared that person's share of Brandon's quote. And I looked at that, I'm like, this is before I started following him, and now we're like, where that started, look where we're at now. Like, Brandon, you've been making an impact on people's lives for years without even knowing it. All of it, and the same thing in Colt too. What you and Andrew are doing with Parts of Love, it's the same thing what we're doing here for men. You guys are doing for people in love and people wanting to be in love. And this is a beautiful thing of what even just this channel is like you said, as each of us are creating ourselves and refining who we are. It's also creating the space to see, for other people to see what it can look like. Not saying that this is the only way or the right way, quote unquote, but it's more of like, here's one way, and it is possible.
Yeah, I can't tell you how to get there necessarily, but I can tell you what that is, right? I can at least say that. Merry Christmas, everybody! Come on,
Merry Christmas.
I had a moment. This is probably the quickest Revelations full circle moment, but I'm sitting under that Christmas tree, and you two just gave me the most beautiful gifts, and without a mailing address, without it being wrapped in a pretty bow. I'm shaking because I didn't see it coming. And I'm just really grateful for you guys, and thank you for taking the time to say that. I think this is it feels great. Normally I have all the words, but in this moment I'm just like shook. And thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Love you. All right. I would be crying too, but my tear ducts are swelling shut. So I'm going to go on and say Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. All right.